Kash, welcome back to the program. I have to be honest, I'm not following this Igor Danchenko case closely. Remind us who he is and the significance of this, and do you still believe in John Durham?
Hey, Charlie, it's great to be back with you. Thanks so much for having me on again. So Igor Danchenko, the short story is he was Christopher Steele's number one source for the false dossier, meaning that he was the one that peddled the false information to Steele, who was getting paid by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the FBI for being an FBI informant. But what we learned last week was that Danchenko himself, and this even floored me, the guy who did Russiagate, was a paid informant for the FBI for 3+ years after they fired Christopher Steele. So they used their corrupt activities and their confidential human source network to cover up their own arrogance, to cover up their own corrupt actions. And what did we learn yesterday in day one of the trial? Not only that, but we learned that the FBI offered up to $1 million for Christopher Steele to go and corroborate the false information in October of 2016. That means they knew it was false before they went to an FBI FISA court, and they did it anyway, and they were willing to pay a taxpayer-funded bounty to lie to a federal court.
I mean, this is incredible. And so the significance of this is that the federal government is paying for the infiltration of political opponents. I mean,
That's
Kash,
exactly
just when
right.
you think it doesn't get any worse, just when you think it can't get any worse, we learn this. And so what exactly is what do you expect to come out of this trial? Is this going to be another swing and a miss?
I don't think so, because we're out in Virginia and we're not in D.C., thankfully, so we've got a much better jury pool out there. Seem to have a much smarter judge, and also Danchenko is charged with 5 counts versus 1 count. So there's 5 separate felonies he's charged with. So the jury would have to give him an entire pass on everything. And what the defense has basically said is, yes, their client, Danchenko, lied. So they've admitted half the case, but they're saying, oh, it wasn't a big deal, nothing to see here, sort of this thing we call materiality under the law. They're saying it's not material, it's not a big deal, it didn't change anything. And what John Durham is saying is, you literally lied to the FBI 5 separate times about supposedly an investigation. They say they were running above board at the time, but you were funneling complete false information. You then became a source of the FBI, and now you're being prosecuted by a special counsel for breaking the law while you were a paid government informant. I mean, I don't know how much more corrupt it can get, but John Durham's going to at least lay out all this information. But that $1 million offer to Christopher Steele in October of 2016, just before the first FISA warrant went up, proves that James Comey and company lied to the world when they said we had verified all the relevant information in that application in the Steele dossier. They had offered 1 million reasons for the world to believe 1 million more of their lies.